Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here with Kosty and Big Al. Let's talk some Super Bowl, man. It's been a crazy week. We weren't able to do it at our regular scheduled time earlier in the week, but I know we here for y'all guys, man. I'm excited about this game tomorrow. I am. You know, this was an interesting season, but in hindsight, I'm not surprised that these are the two teams in the Super Bowl. Kosty, how you feeling, man? How you doing?
I'm glad we waited till the day before the Super Bowl to do this show because I've recovered. I've definitely recovered. It's upsetting. It sucks. All the feelings as a fan, but bad game plan, better coaching by Kansas City, and just mistakes. You can't turn the ball over 3 times at home in an AFC championship and expect to potentially win the game, which we had all the opportunity to do so because on paper we had better talent except number 15. 15 is just up here, and all the other quarterbacks are down here. There's nobody even close to him. He's the new Tom Brady. He just wins games with rosters that you would not expect him to win game with because early in the year we talked about it. Drops, receivers. So what do? He's not throwing the long ball anymore. He's throwing screens. He's throwing slants. He's just getting the ball out, and the receivers are getting yards after the catch. They're much easier catches. The game plan was exceptional. My hat's off to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not one of those guys that hate other teams. Well, I hate the Steelers, but outside of that, I have no hatred. They just came in and beat us in every level of the game and managed the game all throughout. And I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Big Al McMordie. What's happening, my man?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything more than what you guys just said. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen in my life. I know he hasn't accomplished as much as Brady, but he's only done it in half. I mean, wait till he's 35 to 40 years old. We'll look back and we're going to just see how many championships this kid has won.
I know.
And even if he doesn't win 6 or 7 Super Bowls, just his talent, he does things on the field that other quarterbacks just don't do. So I think he's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
I think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game.
I'm looking forward to the game too. Let's talk about it. We're finna cook it up for you guys. Get you boys and girls in and out of here. Super Bowl. So let me get my lines up. Is it still Niners -2?
It is in most places.
Niners -2. Total, I see sitting around 47.5. Is that what you see?
Yeah.
All righty. Big Al, I actually want to start with you.
Oh, boy. In the AFC title game, the Chiefs held the high-powered Ravens offense to just 10 points, which was 18.72 points less than their scoring average. But what often happens in the playoffs is that teams tend to play higher scoring games off such great defensive performances. And if you go back to 1997, there have been 54 playoff games where a team has held a conference opponent to more than 15 points below its offensive average. Not surprisingly, the under went 49-3 with 2 pushes in those 54 games. But when a team has such a great defensive performance, it then usually follows up that game with a game that's higher scoring. And those next games have gone over the total 36, 16, and 1. So I like the over 47.5, Jay, in this game. And there's other reasons why I think it's going to be higher scoring. It's being played at Allegiant Stadium, which is a dome stadium, as I've talked with you throughout the playoffs. NFL playoff games at enclosed stadia tend to go over the total. They're 57, 38, and 1 over the number, including 10 and 8 over in Super Bowls. And then you contrast that with games that are not at enclosed stadia. Those games have gone under 192, 179, and 10. So a stark difference between enclosed stadia and stadia that are not enclosed. And ever since trading for McCaffrey, the 49ers have been an over team. That first game with McCaffrey on the roster. That was actually against these Chiefs. The final score was 44-23 in that game. And overall, the 49ers have gone 20-12-1 over the total since the McCaffrey trade. I like the over.
Points for Big Al McMordie. I lean in that direction too on the over. I do. We have the greatest quarterback I've ever seen as well in Patrick Mahomes. And on the other side, I mean, the 49ers are stacked. All season, I've called them the best team in the league. I've done that. I said that. I think talent-wise, they're really, really good. Defensively, I think the Chiefs are underrated. I mean, I think the Chiefs have been really good on defense all season. And I think that's probably the biggest part in why they're in this Super Bowl. But I think it's going to be a back and forth affair. I mean, they're gonna do their best, and they'll probably put some points on the board. Purdy has thrown some ugly passes this season, some picks. I could see one probably going back to the house. Just because it's a higher scoring game doesn't mean it can't be a defensive style game. It doesn't mean that. I like the over too with you, Big Al, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to you boys and girls right here, right now. I'm not really worried about selling it or anything like that. It is what it is. I'm going out with 1-5. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. I'm going out with Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking the Chiefs money line. I do believe the Niners, player for player, team for team, are the better team. I do. I've called them the best team in football all season. 52-man roster for 52-man roster. The Niners are the better team. The thing is there's two guys that are going to have the ball in their hand the most. One guy might be the greatest to ever touch the football. The other guy was the last guy picked in the NFL draft. And I could make the argument that the Chiefs were not the better team last week or even the week before that. Player for player, roster for roster, man for man, I do believe the Ravens were better than the Chiefs. But Patrick Mahomes as an underdog, y'all already know the stat. I don't even got to tell y'all the stat. Like, it's printing money. Patrick Mahomes, we saw him lose in the Super Bowl against the Bucks. That game is kind of an anomaly for me. He didn't have no offensive line. He was on the run for his life that entire game. I think this is probably one of the tougher games all year. I'm not mad at nobody personally for taking the Niners. Again, I think they are the better team, but there's no way in hell I'm betting against Patrick Mahomes, man. Big-time players make big-time plays, and they usually get it done. I'm rolling with the Chiefs money line. I can't wait for the game tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. So Chiefs money line for me and over with Big Al is what I like in this one. Kosty?
Oh, man. Well, what a great matchup. It's very unique to see a spread not move nearly as much when so much money is coming in on the Chiefs. I mean, from the talks that I've had over the last 2 weeks between sportsbooks, sharps, I mean, so much money is flooding the Chiefs side, and it's crazy. It's not a pick 'em at this point, or even one.
You want to hear my argument on that quickly?
Yeah.
I could give two shits. Reason I could give two shits about all this money coming in on Kansas City right now is I honestly believe in my heart the money is 50-50. And the reason I believe the money is 50-50 is even a guy like me who has hated the San Francisco 49ers, I hate them. I have called them the best team in the NFL all season. So with that being said, I could only imagine the way in futures tickets that are on the 49ers. I could only imagine.
You have to look. I mean, they take so much out of futures bets. I mean, you think of all the futures tickets that were written on the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Steelers, the Jets, and all these other. I mean, yeah, there's tickets written on the 49ers, but Vegas is making money in the futures market. They're not losing money.
I get that. But what I'm saying is, though, the bets are definitely on the Chiefs. It might be 70-30 bets on the Chiefs, but because of the futures tickets and the payout that is attached to that, I believe that the money is 50-50. I wholeheartedly believe Vegas would not care either way. They will not care if it's Chiefs or Niners. So that's why I don't care about the money in this situation.
The other thing is that there's a huge disincentive for sports books to move the number because they don't want to get sided on the game. If you go back, this is before your time, but the 1979 Super Bowl between Pittsburgh and Dallas, where the line was between 3.5 and 4.5, it landed on 4. So everyone who took the Steelers laid 3.5, or at worst they laid 4. Everyone who took Dallas took 4 or 4.5. The sports books got killed. So ever since then, the sports books have been extremely careful not to move the Super Bowl line all that much because it's just not worth the risk.
Fair.
Well, no, that makes a lot of sense. That's good knowledge. That's really good knowledge. Leaning definitely to the over. The one thing I know for sure that I've seen for trends over the last 12 years to 15 years I've been doing this is when Al talks about playoff data, it's pretty accurate. Like it's dialed in. Like you could basically just ride the data in the playoffs and it's year after year you're going to make money. Coming off that defensive battle, I do see this game being a shootout more so than what we've seen on these cold weather games in the AFC, the Ravens game, all of that. I think the coaching is on the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have a little bit sided coaching. They have the better quarterback. And I would say the defense is equal. Chiefs have the second best defense in the league, points against. They have a great passing defense. What the Ravens didn't do was run the ball and commit to the run. They took them out of their element, and they decided to just completely bail on the run for whatever reason because the coaching just didn't have faith in it, which made no sense.
They got outcoached. They outguessed themselves is the way I look at it.
100%. And Shanahan is one of the most creative guys offensively. They run a lot of motion. McCaffrey has averaged 2 touchdowns in all the playoff games. They're going to stick to the run no matter what. They have the offensive line to be able to, overpower just the Chris Jones that I'm really worried about on the defensive line. I think that the way that Purdy runs that offense is much different than Lamar, where he could make those timed throws to Debo and Ayuk. I think Kittle is going to have a big game. What I'm saying is it's an over. I think the Chiefs are going to score, and they're going to be able to do whatever they want. And I think San Francisco is going to score. I see this as a high-scoring game, and it's going to go over the total. And as much as I hate to say it, and I've been wrong for 2 weeks in a row going against 15, Mr. Irrelevant. Who was Mr. Irrelevant that won the Super Bowl? Tom Brady. You got to start somewhere. This is his year. They're the hotter team. They didn't show up in the first half. They're going to remember that against the Lions game. They're going to use that momentum. They're going to have 2 weeks to prepare. And again, 2 weeks to prepare for Andy Reid is also a huge advantage. I think it's going to be a game where it's going to be last possession who has the ball last, and that's going to win the game. I don't see this game one-sided either way. I love the over, and I lean toward the San Francisco 49ers as well to win the game.
Fair enough, man. It's going to be one of those ones. I cannot wait until tomorrow. That's it for you. That's it, guys. We're one and done. It's kind of weird being one and done in the NFL because these shows just go hour long, but we're in and out for you guys. I gave y'all side and total. Big Al gave y'all total, and Kosty gave you side and total. So let's make some money. Any last words from you guys before we get on up out of here? You're muted, Big Al.
Sorry, I'm selling the side. So if folks want to get my side selection, it's up at Pick Dawgz. And Yeah, until
What
until
what
next
what is
football
that
season.
rating on that? I saw you have a pretty big rating on that game.
It's a 5-star. I go up to 5, so it's pretty rare for me. So I cashed my 5-star NFL game of the year on the Ravens against the Texans, and also cashed my 5-star in college football, my college football game of the year on the UCLA Bruins against Boise State. So looking for the third 5-star winner in a row in the Super Bowl.
There you
But
go.
also, Al's All Access doesn't have a 5-star.
Well, it's a 10-star at the All Access.
It's a 10-star at the All Access. So
but it's the
guys are
same.
sitting
But
watching
it's the
this
same.
video,
But it's the same play.
it's the same. Well, of course, it's the same play. But long term, you know, a lot of college basketball. I know this is an NFL show, but lots of volume coming in. It's going to be a great month of February and March as we go into March Madness. So these are the 2 All Access goats right on this video. So
You can join my All Access. You can join Big Al's. And let's continue to kick the crap out of the books. I want to thank you guys. This was an amazing NFL season. Mitch is dealing with some things. That's why he wasn't here today. You'll hear his opinion in the morning, though, so don't worry. He'll get it. Thank you, Big Al, for another great season of talking NFL every week. Kosty, thank you for popping in when needed. And until next year, see you guys soon. We're out of here. Let's make some money. Peace.